Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 555, Mike. And the reason
Five.
I'm and the reason I'm being so foolish when I say this, I want you to keep that in mind because it just may have something to do with the question of the day.
Ooh,
So keep that in mind, Derpy, Mike alike. Whatever you're doing, Derpy, stop it. Making me nuts. Don't do this already.
right? Holy moly.
But I do know Derpy's having some issues over on his end. He did update me pretty early. He said that there were some issues. He might not make it today. So we are glad that Derpy is here. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show.
Whoa.
Go-kart Mozart was checking out the weather chart, seeing if it's safe outside.
God. Oh, God.
Little early burly gave my anus curly whirly and asked me if I needed a ride.
Oh, my God.
What is up, guys?
What is in your coffee?
I do, we got some Steeler news. We got a couple of things we're going to talk about today, a couple of big things that just broke within this morning. But I got to get to the Pirates first. We got Cam Sutton. We're getting Cam Sutton, guys.
Cam Sutton, baby.
Cam Sutton
He's
is
coming
kind
back.
of
Yeah, he's been the slot.
the big news. It's kind of and I got to tell you, I'm down with this, and I said this from the get go. I think if you could bring him, I mean, he was doing pretty well. He did well in Detroit.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do. That's going to be our secondary is good right now.
Yeah, because he's going to be much better in the slot the way he was when he was here. Last year, Detroit, they had him playing outside, and that was outside of his comfort zone for the most part. But you get him back into the slot, still pretty good slot receiver. You got JPJ and Dante Jackson on the outside. And then our two safeties. Now we got a nice secondary. I feel a whole hell of a lot better about
I'm
this
hearing a
defense
lot of good
now.
about Corey Trice Jr. as well. I can't wait to get a look at
Yeah,
him, Mike. So that's the big news. I want to get that out at the top of the hour,
yeah.
but I do want to jump into the Pirates because today is Skeens Day. Nonetheless, it is Paul Skeens
He's
Day.
big.
He is on the hill. He's going up against a pretty good pitcher for the Dodgers. But guys, I do want to say this: the Pittsburgh Pirates did with their $83 million payroll did manage to beat the Dodgers with their almost $240 million payroll. And I called this yesterday, Mike, and I know that you kind of tongue in cheek said that you'd placed
Mm-hmm.
a big parlay bet, and it would be your luck that the Pirates would lose and screw
Yeah,
all your legs on your bet, which I said was pretty likely. I think that the Pirates are going to win the series, and the Pirates did. They win. They win 1-0 yesterday. It was a good. I got to tell you, it was a great game. I did watch the game from beginning to end. Jared Jones threw another amazing hit.
yeah.
Listen, this team has 3 MVPs on it, and we managed to shut them out. I mean, zero runs. The Dodgers had 5 hits. Derby, what's going on?
Yeah, Derby. Killing us.
I can't even hear myself think. So they win this game 1-0. The Pirates, they do improve to 28-32. The Dodgers drop to 38-24. We gain a little teeny tiny bit of ground in the division. But guys, the two players that we called up yesterday were well, with the exception of Jared Jones, but the two guys we called up yesterday, who we had sent down in Henry Davis and Jack Sawinski. Jack Sawinski hits a home run in his first at bat back from the minors, which was the only run in the whole entire game to win 1-0. Henry Davis goes 1 for 3. And of course, Jared Jones, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits gave up, 0 earned runs once again, 3 walks and 6 Ks. The Dodgers just couldn't figure this guy out. And again, this is a team with a $240 million payroll,
Right.
3 MVPs on this team. They're loaded. You watch this. And listen, and I thought for sure that the bullpen was going to come in and screw the whole thing up, but they did not.
Oh, I was pleasantly surprised the way the Buccos played.
Colin Holderman comes in the 7th
Yeah.
inning, only gives up a hit. He gets through it, no runs give up. Chapman now, on the other hand, he comes in the 8th inning, pitches 1 inning, gives up a walk. has 2 strikeouts, but the most animated part of the Chapman appearance was when he thought that the last out was a home run.
Yeah, he thought he blew the game right there. And you know what? I like that show of emotion. That shows, he does care. Unlike Rowdy Tellez, it's nice to see that, that
Who goes over
this
2
guy's here.
last night by chance?
Oh
Or
yeah, yeah.
by the way,
I kind of didn't want to mention him, but that dichotomy. He strikes out and goes, and just walks back to the dugout like
well, you know
nothing
what? They're
happened.
really booing him hard. And I got
Oh,
Mike.
I
There
fuck,
was
I
this
love it.
a bat yesterday where the ball it bounced about
Hmm.
4 feet in front of the plate, and Rowdy Tellez he swung at it, and the whole place just starts going booed or booing him like crazy. Mike, it bounced about 4 feet in front of the plate,
Oh my God.
and he swings at this ball.
And that sounds about right for Rowdy Tellez. He's just terrible. I can't wait until he is no longer a member of the Pirates.
Joe Connor Joe, Brian Hayes, they both have a walk. Leading hitter on the team was Brian Reynolds, making that money with a 2-hit night.
About
Henry
time he gets
Davis.
something.
Henry Davis, again, as I said, him and Jack Sawinski, they both get a hit. Jack Sawinski is the game-winning home run. That is for Jack Sawinski, the 5th career home run against the LA Dodgers in 13 at bats. So 13 at bats, he has 5 home runs against them. I like, this is why I thought the Pirates were going to keep him in the minors, because he's good against the Dodgers. And then they're
Yeah.
going to say some dumb shit like, well, next time we'll have Sawinski come up when we play. Next time's too late. I don't know when the next time they play him is. We already play them already out there. No,
I can't remember.
no, we didn't, because we remembered Ohtani. But
Yeah.
come on. But Henry comes up again. He goes 1 for 3. He has a nice day at the plate. Jack Sawinski, game-winning home run. Pretty awesome to see. The Pirates they have game 2 of 3 today at 6:40. They wrap up this series tomorrow, and then the Twins come to town for 3. Well, I think the Twins are pretty good, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. I didn't look at the standings, but I have a hunch. Probables for tonight are for your Dodgers of Los Angeles is James Paxton. I'm sorry, James Paxton, who's 5-0 on the season.
Yeah.
He's a southpaw. He got a 3.29 and he has 31 strikeouts. Impressive. Okay. But Paul Skeens across the way is 2-0 coming into the game with a 2.45 and 30 strikeouts. The other dude got 31 strikeouts and he has a 5-0 record. Paul Skeen, with his minimum amount of time played, he has 30 strikeouts. So I'm not sure what the story is going on with Paxton. Maybe I don't know. 31's kind of low for a 5-0 pitcher.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably more of a contact hitter than a strike him out pitcher.
So the Pirates they have game 2 of 3 today. This is what the division looks like at the moment. Milwaukee sitting at the top, the Cubs in second, 6 games out, St. Louis in third, 7 games out, the Pirates in fourth, 7.5 games out, and the Cincinnati Reds in last place, 8 games out. So everybody in those spots 2 through 5, they're all within 2 games of one another, and then there's a 6-game cushion between that and the Milwaukee Brewers. At the moment, the Pirates are only 1.5 game out of the wild card spot. I think for a brief moment yesterday, they were like either in or just a half game.
Yeah.
Which was exciting. I just wanted the playoffs to start right then.
End the season now. Let's
right
go.
Now. Yeah. I don't care what needs to happen. Their home record so far this year, Mike, the Pirates are 13-15 at home and 15-17 on the road, 2 games below 500 on each. And that puts them at 4 games under 500 overall. So today, and I got to mention that Ohtani, I think he struck out 2 times.
Ooh.
Yeah, Jared Jones was smoking him, man.
Oh, he was. Yeah, I saw the one strikeout where he just made him look like a fool.
It was really great to see. Yeah, that's what. So Mike, here's the jerseys. Here's the jersey breakdown. This is important to me.
This is very important. Very scientific.
White jerseys on the season. They're 7-6 in their white jerseys. 16-13 in their black jerseys. So far, we're over 500. Correct? Yes.
Yes.
Gray jerseys 4-9. Yellow City Connect jerseys 1-3. So in the
Yeah.
white, we're 7-6. In the black, we're 16-13. In the gray, we're 4-9. And then the yellow's 1-3. So
Just burn those gray ones.
yeah.
Just
I
nuke
wouldn't
them.
be too far behind with them yellow ones either.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely the gray ones. Get rid of those. Nuke them from orbit.
Yeah. Mike, we got a call. Yeah, we have a call.
Yes.
Caller, are you there? This is it's Paul Skeen's mustache. Paul Skeen's mustache. How you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Garazunas.
Good morning, Mr. Mustache. How you be?
Excellent. Good morning, Derpy, and good morning, Big Bear.
Oh, wow. I was hoping you would have called yesterday, Mr. Mustache. I was hoping for a ride.
Hey, now.
I was busy.
So what? Today's Mustache Day up in Pittsburgh, Mr. Mustache. How are we feeling? How's the locker room looking this early afternoon? And how do we feel about this evening's matchup with the Dodgers?
Show who, Otani? Never heard of him.
Ain't that the
We're
truth?
looking good.
How's the team feeling after the big win?
Well, you know that Jared Jones with his poofy hair. What's he think? I'm Sid. He's Malkin. What's he thinking? Is he 2009 Malkin?
I think so. I think he might be trying to upstage you now, Paul. Skeen's mustache.
76 Ks. He's not doing too bad with that poofy hair.
You know what? You could always say you're the Mario and he's the Yager because that's almost the same exact haircut that Yager had going on with the helmet on. At least it looked like he had, he looked like he had relief pitcher hair. But yes, he had a great day yesterday. Mowed him down. Otani didn't have nothing against Jones. But what I want to know today, Paul Skeens' mustache. Do you think that Paul can blow through the lineup like Jared Jones did last night, and the Pirates could possibly get another win tonight?
I'm thinking like 81 pitches, perfect game.
81 pitches, perfect game. Wow, we can have a couple 1, 2, 3 innings. And if so, what innings are they going to be 3 up, 3 down?
All 9.
All 9, 3 up, 3 down. So I'm going to place that bet right now. And if it does not hit, I will be coming after you, Mr. Mustache, with a pair of clippers.
Hold on there, Big Bear. Hannah Mears is texting me. Hold on. 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Ooh, all right, send. All right. Well, now what was that, Big Bear?
I need to know what innings these are in. I'm going to place some bets on here to get these 3 up, 3 down innings. And if they don't come through, I have a pair of dog clippers. I'm going to come up and shave you off a Paul
because he's already doing so great in gambling already. I can't imagine that he's going to do it.
Hey, I'm trying to get all the help I can. If gambling goes around in the Pirates organization, you and what's his name? Were you guys hanging out? Where were you, Paul's mustache, as this guy was placing bets against the Buckos?
25 games.
I played the 5th.
Paul wasn't even.
Were you and Otani's interpreter while this was going on?
Show who? Otani?
I think Paul's mustache was getting familiar with Livy Dunn around these times because I know one thing: he certainly wasn't in Los Angeles and he wasn't here in Pittsburgh when everything was going on with Marcano. How are things going with Paul and with Livy, Paul Skeen's mustache?
First, I want to address the gambling. My alibi: I was at a frat party at LSU with Angel Reese. Did you guys know her eyelashes are not real?
I suspected that.
I did not know that. I was surprised.
I did suspect that. Yeah, they were freakishly long eyebrows.
Oh, also, Ryan, the leg sleeve does go all the way up.
Oh wow. Ooh. See, now it's confirmed. Paul Skeen's mustache knows.
Paul Skeen's mustache is living the life. Livy Dunn and Angel Reese.
Paul Skeen's mustache got its education at LSU as well, as we know. And if anybody would know, it would be Paul Skeen's mustache. So this is inside scoop. Nobody else has this information. I promise you, nobody has this information. Paul Skeen's mustache. How does it feel to have this early success? Going forward, a lot of people suspected that Paul was going to do really well to start off his career in the majors. But, I got to say, nobody can really guess this. Off to 30 strikeouts in just 4 games. He's 2-0. He's got a nice ERA. He's handling major league pitching pretty well. Of course, everybody knows it's baseball. There's ups, there's downs. But the success of Paul Skeens so far, this has people coming to the ballpark. And this is a Wednesday. This is a Wednesday game. I guarantee that park is going to be packed. Paul Skeens mustache, you just got to be so excited. And how does Paul take this? How does Paul take this day by day, this early success in the major leagues?
Well, it's mostly because of the mustache. I was talking to Andrew McCutcheon the other day. I said, "Hey, Drew." He said, "Hey, Stash." I said, "Hey, Drew, why'd you cut your hair in 2015? It was all downhill after that." And Drew said, "Hey, Stash, tell Paul to never shave that off your face."
You know what? These baseball players, they are very superstitious.
Very
superstitious. Couple more questions and we'll let you get out of here. I know that you were a busy mustache. It is coming up on noon. And
I do have plans in about 15 minutes.
And here at the, up in the ballpark, I know that's when the guys start getting there. So assuming that Paul Skeens' mustache gets there the same time that Paul Skeens gets there, he is going to be due pretty soon. So, Paul, we are just 4 games under 500 in the division. We are 1.5 games out of the wild card. Is this anything that people were talking about in the locker room? Is the fact that, the Pirates are still right around, right around sea level, keeping their head above water almost? Is that encouraging? Or is it just the blasé feel that we feel out here in Pittsburgh as the Pirates play every single year? I mean, is there, potential? Do these guys feel that this team could be something?
Well, with our young arms, obviously there's definitely a lot of hope. And when Rowdy Tellez goes up, you guys might think at home that they're booing him because he's so pathetic, but they're actually yelling Lou, like as in Louis Lips.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So they start to randomly chant Louis Lips' name whenever whenever Rowdy Tellez strikes out.
All yes.
Right. Okay. Paul Skeens, I love when Paul Skeens' mustache calls in. I really do.
Me too. You never know what Paul Skeens' mustache is going to say.
And what would Paul Skeens be without you? You know what I mean? That Andrew made a great point.
Probably like a bald taco.
Yes, like a bald taco. And Paul does have a little bit of that. I was telling Mike last week, Paul has a little bit of that Geno Malkin hang mouth too. Not as much, but there's hang mouth.
It's there. And like the like you were saying, Ryan, the lower it goes, the better he pitches.
Right. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else have anything for Paul Skeens' mustache? I do know that he's a busy mustache. He might be the busiest mustache in town.
Apparently, he has a very important meeting in about like 5 minutes. So I don't want to hold him up with that very important meeting.
Paul Skeens' mustache. Anything before you go that you want to tell people? We do always like to at least try to get a hold of you or have you call in or you get a hold of us on Mustache Day. So we're certainly glad that you did call. Anything that you want to say before we do let you go?
One last thing, and this is for Derpy. Yeah. I'm currently working with the I'm currently working with the Pittsburgh Police, specifically Detective James Axel Foley. He used to work in Detroit in the 80s with the Bad Boys Pistons. We've gotten tips that Derpy is planning on becoming the Pirate Parrot for a day to get close to Livy Dunn. We've got insider information, and we are working with the Pittsburgh Police, specifically Axel Foley, to foil his plan.
You know what? It doesn't surprise me with this guy.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me with this guy.
Because he was stalking Taylor Swift for a while. Now, he's stalking Livy Dunn and Caitlin Clark.
He was stalking Taylor. Then he becomes the leader of the fan club. He was stalking Jaylen Warren. Then he goes to camp and gives him 5. So this guy, he makes things happen. I do have one more question for you. Paul Skeens' mustache, and then I'll let you get going. How is your direct relationship with Livy Dunn without Paul? How is your direct relationship, mustache and Livy? How is that?
No hands needed.
All right, everybody. That's Paul Skeens' mustache. Thank you for calling. And hopefully Paul gets the big win tonight. So you hang in out there, make things happen, and we'll certainly be watching.
All right. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thanks, Paul Skeen's mustache.
Thanks, Paul Skeen's mustache. Yeah.
There he goes, everybody.
Yeah,
Paul Skeen's mustache.
Paul Skeen's mustache, it was sounds like that mustache likes to get down on the slip and slides.
That's right.
He's the true MVP of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
He is that mustache. MVP. Yes, that mustache is living the dream. I was thinking Paul Skeen's mustache and Dominic Mysterio. Now that he has Liv Morgan going after him and Rhea Ripley, Paul Skeen's mustache because Angel Reese and Livy Dunn. Who was winning, or are they both tied?
I think that's going. I think this is a big setup by Rhea Ripley to get that belt back because Liv Morgan did get it.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, I don't know. I don't trust that Dominic Mysterio. I don't trust Dirty Dom.
He's a player. Dirty Dom. You can't trust Dirty Dom.
No, you can't.
Rey Mysterio neglect. Just turn this kid into a violent criminal. A terrible parent.
But Marcano did, Mike. He placed bets on 25. Placed bets on the Bucks 25 different times.
Yeah.
During his check this out, Derby. During his time gambling on baseball, he won 4.3% of his bets.
I thought I was doing bad. I'm doing better than this guy.
I mean, if you're gonna get thrown out of the league, you might as well
at least hit a couple overs or something. Come on.
He won 4.3% of his bets, and then he gets busted, and then he gets thrown out of the MLB for life. Talking about shitty luck.
You know what? They should make him keep playing.
Who did he piss off?
Because how the hell can you only win 4% of your bets? You got to be putting together some wild parlays,
especially when you bet on the Pirates at least 25. That's at least should be 25 wins.
It should be. We're gonna lose this game. And if you're a Pirate and you bet against them to lose and you out there actively tanking, people won't know because the Pirates suck at fundamentals.
All I got to say is who's the big players that played yesterday? Jack Sawinski was.
Mm-hmm.
In a day when the Pirates had 4 hits, and they managed 4 hits and got the win, guys. Henry Davis was another one of the hits. Jack Sawinski's home run. Henry Davis. These were the 2 guys that were in the minors. Yeah. These were the 2 guys that we said should be up there. These were the 2 guys that said, get these bats in your lineup if you want to do anything. What happens? They call them both up. They both get hits. One of them gets a home run, the difference maker. And as I said, of course, Jared Jones with his amazing performance once again, who grew up in Southern California as a Dodger fan. He said just a few years ago, he was going to Dodgers games still as a fan. And a couple people that he plays against, now he's playing against the Dodgers, were on the team as he was a fan, in high school, going to these games and watching his favorite players. So he was excited. It was exciting to see him after the game talking about it. He did get that win, guys. Very exciting for, again, if the players in the bullpen could just pick it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't blow every single game with the bullpen. Don't be, come on. You listen. This team is all right. They're all right. No, they're not great, but they're all right. They're good enough
they're an average team, like we said. They should be competing for this division because this division is average.
And Milwaukee seems to be the only team that could stay out ahead. But you know what's so weird about this division? One day we're like 7 games out, and then we win 2, and then Milwaukee loses 2, and next day we're like 9 games out. It's just so weird right now. It seems like we just keep losing and moving down no matter how many games we win. And I got to tell you, it doesn't seem like Milwaukee's winning all the time to where we're not able to gain any ground. But here we are, guys. 7.5 games out. We're going to be at game 62 tomorrow. We'll have 100 games left after tomorrow's game. Got the Twins coming to town for that to end the week out. Then we go back on the road next week. I think we got the Cardinals, a couple other teams. But we got to take advantage of this homestand. If they can win today, guys, we're going to – again, I do this all the time, and it ends up backfiring. And but they win tonight. They go 20. It'll be 29-32, 3 games under, and that just goes to show you more and more and more how effective this pitching staff is. And if this pitching staff could be on, we could beat. The Pirates could beat a lot of teams because again, $228,100,000 is the payroll for the Dodgers. The Pirates is 83,600,000, and we blanked them. Mike, we blanked them. They got 3 MVPs, and we blanked them.
And this, excuse me, this just shows you how important starting pitching is. Just how much of a great equalizer great starting pitching is. And my God, the way our pitching staff's going, like you don't need a whole hell of a lot of runs. Kind of like how we saw with the with the Steelers. You don't need to score a lot of points. Your defense is, has to shut them down. And if our starting pitchers they're shutting down a lot of good teams. It's that bullpen. The offense just give you a couple of runs a game, 3 to 4, and then we just need the bullpen to shut them down. And if that happens, this team could be, I don't want to say dangerous, but they can play a spoiler later in the year.
I think they could very well be a spoiler. Absolutely.
Yeah. Just because like this starting pitching, and that's why teams you see draft early and often is pitching, because it is the great equalizer. Pitchers win more of the one-on-one battles than hitters. So if you have good to great pitching,
I've been saying this all year after year after year.
That's just baseball 101.
You need pitching, and guess what? Yep. Every time we get a quality pitcher, we send them elsewhere. Maybe with this core group of players, we'll learn, keep them around, pay them a little bit, and hopefully they could. That's how you build continuity. You got to be able to play with people. You can't bring somebody in who's excellent, put them on a team, the team not do well, and then ship them out of time. I mean, come on, that's just bad business.
That's like Tyler Glasnow when he was with Pittsburgh, he was up and down. It's like when he left, he became the pitcher that he is. Same thing with like Charlie Morton. He left and became the pitcher he is. Now
Charlie we're getting good.
Yeah, he was good, but when he left, he became even better. Same thing, Garrett Cole was damn good here, left, became even better. Now it's like we got these guys, especially in Jones and Skeens, they're hitting their, I don't want to say their peak or their prime, but they're hitting what we thought they would be right on track, and they're only going to get better while they're still here in Pittsburgh under control for a long time. So build around them and use this window of those two, plus, you got Keller locked up for a while. Bailey Falter, if he can keep playing the way he does, 1, 2, 3, 4 in your starting pitching. This is a team. I hate, saying next year, that's always the Pirates thing, but next year. But no, next year you legit have a great pitching staff to build around. You have pieces on this offense to build around. So let's add during this year and have this team build together and grow together this year to actually build towards something better next year. Whereas every year we say, next year for the Pirates, it's just kicking the can down the road. This is actually building towards something. Use this year to put these guys to like, hey, we're going to compete for this wild card spot. So you get these guys used to playing games that matter. Every game matters, where, normally in Pirate baseball, these games don't matter. You have the rotation to make these games matter. Put that thought into their head that every game is important, every game matters. So when next year comes around, they're already in that mindset of, we're going to win the division. Not, we're going to try and compete. No, we're going to win. This team needs to be win now. I know I've totally lost the plot, but
I'm so lost.
I know, but I'm just like pumped about this pitching, because that's what I'm saying. Like this pitching staff is something that you can contend with. A playoff burst, playoff, series wins, division titles, pennants, not saying the World Series, but you can get damn close with this pitching staff.
Two of the fastest pitchers.
I'm getting Bucko fever has come over me. Buck,
two of the fastest pitches by starters this year.
I'm sorry.
101.9. These are the two fastest pitchers by starters this year. 101.9. Paul Skeens, 101.4. Jared Jones. You know what I think the part of the problem is, Mike Derpy? I think that these guys are so fast. And this is what I'm saying, because prior to this year, if you had Aroldis Chapman, granted he is getting older, and David Bednar, once you get to the 9th inning, and you kind of wear down throughout the course of the game, and then you get the 9th inning and you're starting to see these 100-mile-per-hour pitches, and it's hard to adapt to, because at that point, again, through the course of the game, The starter's crisp. He starts to decline over so many innings. You bring a bullpen pitcher in, he's crisp, and then he'll start to decline. And then you get to that relief pitcher who can blow it by you. So I think this is just my theory. I've never heard anybody say this, but this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking a lot of times what's going on is these starting pitchers are so good and they're so fast and they're so crisp that when the next line of guys come in, I don't think that I think that it's kind of counterproductive in a sense, because now you face, these guys, they're so sharp, so crisp, so fast. And then you have a reliever come in who's obviously not as good as a pitcher as one of these two guys are. And they're maybe, noticeably 10 miles per hour slower than these guys are. I think that might play advantage to the batter. And then you get to the ninth inning, and guess what? I've been facing 100 miles an hour for the first 6 innings. So now all of a sudden, Chapman in the 8th and Bednar in the 9th, they're not the shock element isn't there. The fastball, that just blows right by you. That element isn't there, and I'm starting to wonder, because our bullpen is so terrible. But is that what it is? There's such a drop between what these two guys, or 2 to 4 guys at the top that are in the rotation. There's such a big drop between what they can do and what the bullpen can do. And I'm just wondering if that plays a role. If the starters weren't as good, would the relievers be more effective if the starters weren't putting so much good stuff out there that there was such a drop when that next tier player comes in?
No, I like what you're saying. Like, in theory,
because it would affect me personally. I thought of this.
But like you watch like when pitchers come in, or like when fielding players come in to pitch, and those guys are throwing 60, 70 miles an hour, and some guys have trouble hitting that just because it's so much slower than the.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the timing isn't there.
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Ready to hit those 90, those 100 mile an hour, 99 miles an hour pitches. You get someone coming in throwing 94, 95, your timing's off. So
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Timing's off for the hitter. So the hitter should be behind. And
exactly.
then, too, it's all about, the stuff, too. You can throw 100 miles an hour, but if it's on a rope, these guys are going to crush it out of the park. You watch Skeens' balls, they come in, that fastball is moving all over the place. You can't track it. So as long as you can have movement on the ball, it doesn't matter how fast you're throwing it. So, look at Tim Wakefield. He was, successful for years just throwing that knuckleballer. And he had, God, I forget who he was, but he played for the Mariners. He was just an off-speed pitcher. Like, his fastball topped out at like 85 miles an hour.
But that's what I'm saying. Isn't it having the same effect, Mike?
So
isn't it having the same effect on what I'm saying? If the starters come in, they're throwing 100 miles an hour, and then you go to the reliever who's throwing 90 miles an hour, that's messing your time off, and you're not going to be able to be as effective hitting that guy. That's kind of what I'm saying.
The hitter shouldn't be there. That's going to mess the hitter up.
That's exactly what I mean. That's the only thing.
Okay, my bad. I thought you were arguing the opposite. My bad. I apologize.
I don't even know what the opposite is.
Like that, they're pitching, so much slower that the hitter should just be crushing it out of.
No.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. My bad. My apologies.
Well, yeah, I am kind of saying that now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know,
but
I don't know what I'm saying.
I think did we both have a cup of coffee before the show?
No, I had no coffee.
See, that explains it. Either way, I was going to say coffee or no coffee is what we're all out of it today.
But so no matter how you feel about your Pittsburgh Pirates, what they're doing, what they're not doing, this is the top 10 power rankings in the MLB. At one point, the very, 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 very early point, the Pirates were in this. But here is your top 10 as we speak. Number 1 in the MLB right now is the Philadelphia Phillies. Number 2, the New York Yankees. Number 3, the Cleveland Indians Derby. Or what are they? The Guardians. The Guardians
of the Galaxy.
The Cleveland Guardians. They are the 3rd best team in the league right as of right now. The 4th best team in the majors just got blanked by the Pittsburgh Pirates last night. The Dodgers are the 4th best team in the league. 5th best team is the Orioles. 6th best team is Milwaukee. 7th best team is Atlanta. 8th is Kansas City. 9 is Minnesota. 10 is Seattle. So this is where I came off saying that I think the Minnesota is going to be pretty good. They're in the top 10. They're the 9th team overall. So if you're expecting to get any kind of break after the Dodgers,
Yeah.
you're getting the Twins, who again are the 9th best team in all the majors. And teams like Kansas City are still in that. You're like, why can't it be the Pirates? Why?
But this is a good test for the Buccos, though, man. Especially that.
I don't want no more tests. I just want they need to win something. The tests are done. We've been testing. We've been doing this bullshit for 30 years.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, that. If we actually had a legit owner and a legit front office, they would see the kind of starting pitching that we have, and they would get all giddy to like add to the bullpen, add to the offense of building around these guys, and go, hey, you know what? We kind of dug ourselves a hole this year, but you know what? We're going to start slowly adding pieces to the puzzle this year that are going to make us even better for next year. But this team, this front office doesn't think that way, so. Now I took myself into a depression. I was all geeked up 5 minutes ago about the starting rotation of how we should build to it, but then I realized our front office won't do that, and we're just going to be wasting away these 4 really good starters and 2 great ones.
Yeah. All right, so I guess the Pirates back at it tonight.
That's Bucko fever, baby. You got the highs and lows within 5 minutes.
They do got the Dodgers game 2 tonight. It is going to be a Paul Skeens, James Paxton, who is a southpaw, matchup tonight, 6:40. Check it out. A lot of stuff going on this week in sports. But as I said the other day, Mike, it all comes down to Saturday night. I think if you're looking for sports for Saturday, if you're going anywhere, if you're going to a wedding, that's not going to be your kind of day because this is all there's so much sports going on. Like there's, I think NBA, NHL, the women, Pittsburgh Passion, they playing a huge game up at Slippery Rock. Hounds back at it. I mean, there's just mad in the mad sports. UFL's got playoffs going on.
Yeah.
So let's go over to the gridiron. Here's one for you guys. Did you know that Brittany Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes' old lady, she grew up a big Steeler fan. Not a lot of people know this.
Really?
Yeah. Brittany Mahomes grew up a big Steeler fan. And as a matter of fact, Patrick bought her a dog for Valentine's Day in her junior year in college, and she named it Steel.
See, this is why I always liked Brittany Mahomes. I've always been a big fan. Thought she was the greatest person in the world because deep down she's a Yinzer at heart. That's why the few years ago when she was drunk in the owner's box or whatever in the player's box and was pouring drinks on people, it wasn't her just being a stuck-up bitch. It was just her being a fucking Yinzer.
That's the Pittsburgh look.
That's what Yinzers do. Just get all excited and spill their drinks on you.
You see anybody from Pittsburgh, that's what they look like. They're usually look very intoxicated.
Yeah. She's one of us at heart. I think that's why a lot of Yinzers don't like her, is because she got away. She's the one who got away. And
now she's the queen to the king.
Yeah.
After we just went through the whole Tom Brady era, we don't need to bow down to the king anymore.
No.
We're so over it. I'm so over it.
At least the new king, he you can laugh at him when he talks because he sounds like Kermit the Frog.
I don't know. Tom Brady's butt chin was pretty funny.
Yeah, but what happens when he talks? Come on, guys, let's get this W.
I'm here.
I can't do the Kermit Frog voice.
AFC, we did give you the MLB rankings. I do want to give you some AFC rankings. Like, this is according to PFF. So do what you will with this. This is your PFF AFC rankings, guys. Chiefs number 1. The New York Jets number 2 in the AFC, according to PFF. Over the Baltimore Ravens, who come in at number 3. Over the Houston Texans, who come in at number 4. And then the Bengals, they slide into number 5. So let me give you the top 5 so far in the AFC, according to PFF, guys. It looks like this. The Chiefs 1, the Jets 2, the Ravens 3, the Texans 4, the Bengals 5. 6 through 10, Buffalo, now coming in after Cincinnati, Miami, Cleveland. Of course, you weren't going to get them above the Steelers from PFF. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah.
The Steelers, number 9, and number 10, Jacksonville. I got to say, I don't believe that every team in our division should be higher than us.
No.
But you know what? Until this team goes out and proves it, I guess you can't, we can't really expect anything because, this team, with all the additions, with the quarterbacks, everything that they did in this offseason, they still haven't played it down together. Yeah. So I guess I could respect that. However,
the offense, so yeah.
However, coming from PFF, I don't really take too much of what they say anymore too seriously. Yeah. But that is why I did want to bring it up. Here are your top
Jets,
10.
Number 2.
Here's your top 10 teams in the AFC. The Chiefs, the Jets, the Ravens, the Texans, the Bengals, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Browns, the Steelers, the Jaguars.
And like the Bengals, you have Jamar Chase, who's franchise tagged, who's holding out. He wants to be gone. He's like, trade me. You have their big defensive end. He's like, give me a new contract or trade me. You lost Tyler Boyd. You lost another weapon on offense where you had that three-headed monster at receiver, plus the tight end, plus the running game. That team is like slowly falling apart from the inside. I don't see them that high.
Mike, is this team better? Is that team better than Buffalo, Miami, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Jacksonville? Are they better than all 5 teams in the bottom 5 of this list?
They're better than Jacksonville. They're better than Buffalo because Buffalo lost a lot of key players too. Better than Miami. Miami's overrated. I think the Steelers might be better than them. Beat them twice last year. I don't care if Joe Burrow played or not. We beat them.
Right.
So no, to me they're at least 6th, 7th in the AFC. Because my top 3 are it's Kansas City, Baltimore, and Houston. Those are.
I still got to see more about Houston. You know why? Because I'm going off.
I agree with you, but
I'm going off of what people were remembering from last year that happened at the end of the year into the playoffs, which was very good. But we got to see this long, in a long-term plan in that division. With you got the other teams in that division that's going to get, they're going to have something to say about it. Jacksonville, of course, Mike, they're not going to go down without a fight.
Yeah.
With the Colts,
but they do a wild card in that division. They can be either good or they can just be very bad. They're all over the place for the Colts.
They really are.
Yeah. It all depends on Anthony Richardson. How he's coming back from that injury.
Micah Parsons comes out and says, "If I played anywhere else besides Dallas, I'd want to play for the Steelers because I want to play for Mike Tomlin." And how many times have you heard this for one?
And then no one comes.
Right.
And nobody comes.
Well, it's because the Steelers won't pay him.
I don't even want Micah. Listen, Micah Parsons is great. If we had more of an issue at linebacker, I would like to have.
Oh my God! Yeah,
there's just no room for him at this time.
Alex Highsmith can go away. We'll have T.J. Watt and Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I mean, if they can make that happen, but they seem to love Highsmith a little too much. Yeah. But I thought that was interesting. I
saw that. Yeah.
Speaking of the Cowboys, Larry Allen died.
Yeah.
My God, he played in Super Bowl 30.
Yeah, only 52.
Yeah.
My
first Super Bowl. My first, Super Bowl that I could acknowledge. Super Bowl 30. He was in that game. He totally dominated.
Oh, he
was throwing Greg Lloyd around like a rag doll. It's one thing I'll never forget.
Yeah.
He was a monster. He threw Greg Lloyd around like a rag doll. And I remember a couple years after that, he was in one of these all-pro challenges.
Yeah.
And he was lifting the weight. Yeah, it was like, a gazillion pounds. But one thing, what do you remember about that? He was laughing. He was going, like, I thought, dude, you're laughing.
225, like it felt like 100 times.
Yeah.
He was. You remember John Randall? John Randall, the DN for Minnesota. He was like
93.
Larry Allen. He was like, he's the only offensive lineman I never trash talk.
Yeah.
Because he whooped my ass.
The guy was a monster. I can't believe. I mean,
he might be. He might be the best left tackle to ever play football. He was just so fucking dominant.
Yeah. Playing for that team, man.
I saw that. I'm like, no, I can't. I
mean, that's not much older than you.
No, hey, you're on the top.
Lucky you're in great shape.
I'm in peak. Hey, I saw it on ESPN. One of the ex-baseball players, like, you can't pull fat. He's like, I'd watch guys eat 3 cheeseburgers a day, down 5 beers, and they never got hurt. So I'm on the right path, baby.
Mike, do the Steelers, are they going to be able to address this wide receiver issue to the point where Steeler fans are going to feel satisfied? Or do you feel that they, by doing so much what seems like insignificant work with bringing in receivers and quizzes and all these other guys. Do you think they're going to try to figure out an answer from within, from what they have? Or, I mean, they came out and said back in February, they reached out to Minnesota to get their big their big receiver. They reached out to Brandon Ayuk, and they literally were making very important phone calls to make very big moves. None of them happened. Here we are. We're in June. We still don't have a number two. A lot of people talk about Roman Wilson with the possibility of it coming in as a rookie. That's an unknown.
That's a huge ask.
So bringing in Cam Sutton on the other side of the ball, I think that pretty much sums up what we're going to do on defense. I really do.
Yeah.
And what that tells me is we have one spot out of 22, 24 spots that we're not satisfied with as Steeler fans.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that this is going to be addressed in a way that will satisfy the fan, or do you think that this is going to be kind of something that's experimental in a way, and we're going to have to just feel it out and wait it out and see what happens?
I think that it's going to be that right there. We're going to have to just wait it out, see who can, out of that glut at the number 2 spot, who's going to be the cream that rises to the top. Who's going to be that guy that takes control of that position, and maybe the way the offense is going to be designed. Is Pat Freiermuth going to have a bigger role?
Oh, absolutely.
Because I hate to use this comparison because my God, they're just so good. But look at Kansas City. They really don't have a number 1 wide receiver. They have Travis Kelce. And then they have a bunch of guys at receiver. The offense runs through him. And they're going to try to design the offense to a lesser extent of we're going to run it through the running game, George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth as our number 2. Then, that number 2 receiver is more or less our third option. Then we have Roman Wilson in as a slot guy.
And also, I'm hearing more about getting a lot of reps is Darnell Washington too. And I think if you put these 2 tight ends to work,
tight end set,
you're gonna listen, and that's what it sounds like it's gonna be. It's gonna be more things like the 2 tight end set, and you're not gonna be
Tom Brady's number 1 receiver. Outside of Randy Moss, a true number 1. He never had a true number 1. They had,
I would take any of them guys.
And a tight end, and
Wes Welker or Julian Edelman.
They had really good guys.
I would take any of those guys.
Routes. Yeah, and it all depends on how you design your offense too. Because in New England, a lot of those were crossing routes to where they can use their quickness and their separation. You don't need a true number 1 to beat a corner to go deep, run the deep route. So it's going to depend on how the offense goes. If you really need a number 2, if you have George as your number 1, Freiermuth as your number 1 tight end, who people in the NFL, they recognize as a good weapon that just was underutilized the past 2 years. Okay, there you go. You got a number 1 receiver, a guy who's probably outside of the top 5, top 7 tight ends in the league. 2 really good options plus 2 good running backs. Your wide receivers are going to fall in line however they fall in line.
I think that
it's going to be your main 4.
I think we're going to listen. I think we're going to at least be 2 games better this year than we were last year. I think that this team is going to be better than it was last year. I'm just coming with the uncertainty, and the thing is, you can't be paralyzed at the quarterback position, which is what we were. We had good running backs, we had good receivers, we had good defense, we have good kicker, we have good everything. But you can't be incompetent at the quarterback position. Just like in baseball, you got to have good pitching, and you in football got to have your quarterback. And we'll say we won, and time has passed, and I'm cool with all of it. But you know what, Kenny, Mitch, and Rudolph, they weren't the guys. And people will always say, well, Mitch never got it. You know what, time it's done. The fact of the matter is, it's done. He's gone. Let's move on. I hope that Russell Wilson does something that hasn't been done in a while here. That's give this team a chance. Give this team, as I said, you kind of go into every game with a quarterback like this thinking that you have a chance to win. With those other 3 guys, you didn't have that. You didn't know which Kenny. You didn't know which Mitch. You didn't know which Mate. You just didn't know.
And you had to hope the defense would steal points.
Absolutely.
Whereas
and now with a better defense, and we don't have to expect so much from them, in theory, they should be more effective because now they're not being relied on. They could kind of do more of their thing and impose their will on the offense. So
and if you do a more ball control offense, you can ground and pound the ball more. And then you have a quarterback who, has the highest red zone percentage in the NFL for touchdowns. That's going to help you score points there. You have the running game for, control the clock, and then that defense should be fresh and ready to go.
We got about 10 minutes, Mike. I'm getting into some of these other things here. I got a couple other things. Rutgers is considered the worst Power 5 college.
I saw that
in football. And you know what?
No dip.
They've always been the worst. When they were a Big East team.
Yeah, them in Temple.
You can just Temple, Rutgers. These teams just never change, and it's crazy.
No.
But with that being said, I also do have the team. I have the list here, guys, and you may have seen it over the past 24 hours. But this also it's a list of the teams that have. What am I looking? Where am I trying to go with this, Mike? They had the easiest schedules in college football this year. Do you want to hear the list of the teams that have the easiest schedules in college football?
Yeah, I hope my team's on there.
Yeah.
Number one, the team with the easiest schedule in college football is the Syracuse Orange. They have the easiest schedule in college football. Virginia Tech has the easiest schedule, second easiest schedule. Rutgers, who's the worst team in college football, has the third easiest schedule in football. So,
who are they scheduling?
I don't know who
are they playing Aliquippa?
I wouldn't put money on. I wouldn't put money on Rutgers. Number 4, Kansas. The Jayhawks. They have the fourth easiest schedule. North Carolina, SMU, Utah, Kansas State, Texas Tech at 9, Pitt number 10. I like this. I like this a lot.
There you go.
Especially with this new offensive coordinator. I'm liking this.
Pitt. Fuck yeah. Get the easiest schedule you can.
This goes to 25. So let me just give you a rundown. UCF, Oklahoma State, Duke, Cincy, Arizona, Iowa State, Baylor, Wake Forest, Notre Dame, NC State, Miami, BYU, Arizona State, TCU, Colorado. But the Syracuse Orange has the easiest schedule in all of college football.
It doesn't surprise me Notre Dame's up there, because when you play the service academies, you get yourself 2 guaranteed wins every year.
Yeah.
Oh, it's tradition. Yeah, so as you guys losing the bowl game.
Caitlin Clark, ESPN, CBS, and NBA TV, guys. Get this. ESPN, CBS, and NBA TV set records for the most watched WNBA games ever in just 2.5 weeks into the season.
Come on, it's the whole draft class.
My goodness. Well, I'm going to get more into that in a second.
It was her. It was, Britt, whatever her name is, and Angel Reese. It's all 3 of them.
Hold that thought.
Yeah, right.
Because in this past weekend's games, this was the turnouts for all the games this past weekend, guys. So in 7 games that were played, attendance were 7,000, 4,000, 9, 7, 3,000, 10,000, 7,000. The 2 Caitlin Clark games, 17,274, 17,401. So say what we will about Miss Reese, with about all these other people, they are not drawing the crowds that Caitlin Clark is at 17,000 a game.
No. And real quick, to keep my Caitlin Clark, Sidney Crosby analogy going, like Angel Reese and Cameron, whatever her name is, Brink, whatever, they're like the Zach Parisi of the Sidney Crosby draft class. Good player, you like to have them on your team, but they're not the star power that Sidney Crosby was, and they're not the star power that Caitlin Clark is.
Yeah,
they're like, that doesn't mean they're bad players, but the main attraction was Sidney Crosby. The main attraction here is Caitlin Clark.
You just have this golden boy every so often in sports. She's the golden boy in this particular sport.
Ride that shit out.
Right.
They all have that face that you want to punch. They got the big, nice white smiles. Crosby has it. You know what I mean? Everybody, you get this guy, and you got to be lucky that your team gets them, because again, every so often this goose that comes along and lays golden eggs comes along, and they have it right now. And as I said, and people are going to enjoy it, guys. Again, the highest game that wasn't a Caitlin Clark game this past weekend housed 10,000 people. That was the most in both of her games. She did average at least 17,200 people.
That's selling out arenas, man. That's selling out, like, my God. Like,
she's a rock star.
Yeah, that's like a packed house down, watching the Penguins play or watching, the Pacers play.
Couple of things, Mike. You know what? Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website, because we do got a couple of things I want to talk about still here.
The2dumyinzers.com. If you're new here, head on over there. We got links to my social media, Ryan's social media. That way you guys can follow us. We got the merch store. You can get some 2 Dum Yinzers merchandise, and I got the blog over there. So yeah, just go check it out. The2dumyinzers.com.
www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. All right, guys, here is the trivia question of the day. Derpy, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. I heard Derpy messing around all game, and then whenever it's time for the trivia, he'll disappear. All right. So here is, guys, this is the question of the day. Of course, everybody knows today is episode 555. The question of the day for you fellas is, tell me any player that wore number 5 for all 3 professional Pittsburgh teams. It could be today, it could be in 1900, it could be whenever, but I would need to know from you fellas 3 guys, 1 from each of the pro teams, that at some point were number 5 here in Pittsburgh. It's going to be kind of complicated the way we do this. So I'm going to start with Mike. Now, you know what? You know what I'm doing? I'm going to go one by one, back and forth through each sport, so nobody could kind of really piggyback off the other.
Yeah.
And if nobody knows, then nobody knows. But think it over for a minute, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The brand new live show that we do every day. We take and we upload over on Spotify at 8 o'clock p.m. You could always go check it out at any time. If you're at the gym, you're in the car, wherever you're at, pop it in, put your earbuds in, whatever you do, and listen to the 2 Dum Yinzers on Spotify. All right, guys, for the question of the day, today is 555, the episode of this show. So my question to the guys and anybody on the board that wants to play along is this. Tell me any players that wore the number 5 for all 3 Pittsburgh sports teams. Mike, I'm going to start with you. We're going to start with baseball. Can you tell me any of the guys that wore number 5 for the Pittsburgh Pirates in their history?
God, no, I can't.
Okay, that's all right. Derpy, over to you. Can you tell me any Pittsburgh Pirate that wore number 5? In about 150 years worth of baseball. It's okay not to know.
Cannot.
Okay, this is a tough one. This is tough. So I'm going to give you the top 3 because I have the top 3 for each sport that you would know. So I'm going to give them to you guys now. Sid Bream were number 5.
Oh my God.
Most recently, Josh Harrison.
Oh my goodness.
Were number 5. And most famous, Matlock, one of the famous Pirates, were number 5.
Oh, yeah, wow.
So let's go on. Time for football. Mike, tell me any Steeler that wore number 5 in the history of the Steelers.
Terry Hanratty.
Terry Hanratty. Derpy, can you tell me anybody that wore number 5 in the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Dobbs.
Joshua
Dobbs.
You both are correct. Josh Dobbs and Terry Hanratty did wear number 5. So here comes the tiebreaker. We didn't get any for the Pirates. We both got it for the Steelers. Here are your Penguins, guys. Mike, I need 1 Pittsburgh Penguin that wore the number 5.
Ulf Samuelson.
I knew you'd get it.
Oh, Derpy, yeah, baby.
Derpy, anybody besides Ulf Samuelson for the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's not a very popular one, but I do have 3 names. The 3 most, I would say they're popular. There's a current, semi-current Derpy. He says Ulf Samuelson. Do you know any Pittsburgh Penguins that were the number 5? Ulf is number 1 on my list?
I do not, unfortunately.
Okay. So the questions of the day, is I need a what's that?
Oh no, I was throwing out another guess.
Okay. So we were trying to guess who we needed a number 5 for each of the main 3 sports here in Pittsburgh because it is episode 555. Sid Bream, Josh Harrison, Bill Matlock was the top 3 Pirates that were number 5. Neither of the guys got that. Number for the Steelers, I'm sorry, Josh Dobbs, Bruce Gradkowski, who is now the with the
forgot about him.
Battlehawks, and Terry Hanratty all were number 5 for the Steelers. Mike, you said Alf Samuelson, which is correct for the Penguins. I'm so sorry. And the other ones I have in my top are Gord Dineen. If you were a
that's Penguins. Go monkey face. Yeah, he looked like a little chimpanzee.
Gord Dineen, Rob Scuderi.
Oh, how can I forget about Scuds?
And finally, I brought this guy because he was semi recent. Derek England. Derek England was number 5 as well.
He was.
But that guy's great job. That's a tough one if you're not thinking about it, because I had the luxury of going and researching and finding the question. But to come off the top of your head to try to think of who was number 5, I think that I would have struggled as well. I would have got Dobbs. I would have got Bream or Harrison if I would have thought long enough. Alf Samuelson would have been my guy in hockey, but any of the other guys, I didn't remember that Terry Hanratty was number 5. I didn't remember that, some of these other guys. So great job. That was a tough one. Tough one, but great job as always. Derpy, you had a question before we start wrapping things up. What is going? Okay, so you have a friend that's in the podcasting. That what's going on?
I just wanted to shout out one of them.
I mean, we can help him. I have no problem helping him out. That's fine. You could do a shout out. What is this podcast?
4th and 0. They're small podcast. They just started.
Okay.
Well, they just started over a year ago, and I just wanted to shout them out today.
Okay.
So 4th and 0.
All right, there you go, everybody. 4th and 0. What is it? Is it about? Is it about football?
It's all topics, sports in general.
Is these people you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not like relatively, but I've known them for a year, and I've been watching their streams. They're small podcasts, but
where are they out of?
YouTube. They're from Philly, though.
Okay. All right, we'll have to check them out. That is called 4th and 0. How often is this show on, Derpy?
Every Wednesdays at 7, I believe.
All right, there you go. Go check it out. 4th and 0, Wednesdays at 7. I will check it out. We'll talk more about it, but one more time, Derpy. Go ahead and tell everybody what it is, when it is, and we'll start getting ready to wrap up.
That is 4th and 0. They do cover all sports and all sports topics that have recently happened. They are at Wednesdays at 7.
All right, go check it out, everybody. Also, I do want to thank Paul Skeens' mustache for calling. He always gives his time to us. It's always great talking to his mustache and getting some insight on what's going to, how the game's going to go tonight. Again, everybody, the game is Pittsburgh hosting the Dodgers game 2 of 3 tonight. Paul Skeens on the bump, getting ready. Maybe we could put a couple wins together, win this series against the Dodgers. Mike, I felt it last night. I was telling you, this is the team. This is the team that the Pirates will beat. I don't know the rhyme. I don't know the reason. It just happens that way. It always has. But check that out. We do want to thank everybody for hanging and chilling with us today. Thank you, everybody on the board, keeping things interesting. And we certainly couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much. Mike, before we wrap it up, man, anything on your mind? Anything that you want to say?
I got nothing.
There's nothing between the ears, huh?
Nope, nothing.
All right. What about you, Derpy? Anything for you?
Besides that,
all right, go check it out. 4th and 0. Go check it out, everybody. Pirates tonight, 6:40. We will be back tomorrow to do it all over again. Mike, am I forgetting anything?
Oh, I think we got it all, brother. All
right. So there you have it. Everybody have a great day. For Mike in the Steeler Central Mobile Studio, for Derpy, myself. I feel like I'm forgetting something. It's going to make me crazy. And the 2 Dum Yinzers. Yeah, we're just, you know what? I'm just gonna let it drive me crazy. If I remember, I'll talk about it tomorrow. But yeah, for Mike, Derpy, myself, the two Dum Yinzers, everybody have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.